Coming up, we did 7 resorts in 7 nights, and in this segment, we're going to take a look at Disney's All-Star Music Resort. Coming up next. The Dis Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, specializing in helping you plan the perfect Disney World, Disneyland, or Disney Cruise Line vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by Craig Williams, Craigery, as we call him, Shaunathan Thompson, Sean otherwise, Corey Patrick,
no nickname,
Dustin Thomas, and with Brian Michael.
There we go.
Brian Michael Varley, BMV, or Bowel Movement, as we have called him in the past. And yes, the name Varley is the same Varley as we name our studio for. He is the son of our good friend, our dear departed friend, Bob Varley. And glad to have him here with us as we talk about all-star music. And before we get to the commentary, and believe me, folks, there is commentary on this resort, we got a couple of videos to show. We're going to start off with Dustin's overview video of All-Star Music.
That's right. Here
you go. All right. Thank you very much for that, Dustin.
Yes.
Another video that has been put together was put together by our own Craigery Williams, and I understand this needs some explanation. I have not seen this video, but it requires some explanation.
Yeah, to set it up, at all the All-Stars, they have pictures on the walls in the lobby that show celebrities, whether it's musicians in music, athletes in sports, and I don't know what's in movies.
Movie stars.
I've never stepped foot in there. So, yeah, they have them on the wall, and Shaun and I were looking at them, and some of them, we knew most of them, we think, but at the same time, we had to guess on some of them. So we got a lot of our guesses down on video, and we're going to play it for you now. So mostly Shaun. So here it comes.
All right.
One Direction, Taylor Swift, Wiz Khalifa, Madonna, Meat Loaf, Sting, and the Police, Marlon Brando, Ryan Seacrest, Hayden Panettiere, Maroon 5, Queen Latifah, Beyoncé, Wilson Phillips, Cher, Adele.
Oh, God. Pete's crying.
That's great. I don't know what's funnier, the images or the voice you were using.
Beyonce.
Meatloaf.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it's not the only place there were unidentifiable
That's the truth.
alleged
Portraits.
celebrities,
Yeah.
portraits. We'll get to that in a little bit. All-Star Music was another one of the resorts that when we checked in, our information was corrupted during download the night before. That was the excuse we got with all of them, where we had to give all our information again, give our credit card information again. It kind of was a pain. But as we talked about before, this seems to be an issue with online check-in right now as they're doing the switch over to the MyMagic Plus system, that some of these online check-ins are getting messed up. So keep that in mind. For me, I'm not doing online check-in anymore until they've got that all worked out, because it was a pain having to keep going back to the front desk, especially here. Because on this one, we actually said to the woman who checked us in, please make sure these are valid for charging. Oh, they're valid for charging. No, they weren't.
Yeah, right.
We'll dispatch with the rooms first.
Well, before we started off in the lobby, can we talk about how there was like poop stains or something on the benches?
On what now?
On the benches where people are sitting.
Were there really?
There were weird stains on those benches.
There were
yeah.
unidentifiable stains on them.
And you think there were skid marks?
It's
Somebody
the
stopped
same,
short. Somebody
the
stopped
same
short.
color.
Somebody stopped short doing 60 on one of the benches.
I can believe it.
I wasn't there for
I'm
this.
glad I missed
observation.
it.
I mean, you guys were dealing with all the issues with the check-in, so
And you were examining the poop.
we were examining poop on benches.
Oh, that's what I pay you for, isn't it?
Exactly.
Go find the poop on the bench.
a party game we can all get behind.
The rooms at the, if you've ever stayed in a Value, if you've seen one, you've seen them all, with the exception of Art of Animation. Perfectly fine room. There was nothing particularly wrong with this room. For the price point, it's a step up from Holiday Inn. Is the best thing I can say about the Value Resort rooms.
It's a place to put your head at night.
One of the things that was nice, though, about this was that in the last batch of 7 and 7s we did, it seemed like every Value Resort we went into, the room reeked of bleach.
Oh, yeah.
We had no chemical weapons assault walking into this room. So, I guess that's a positive that, our eyes weren't tearing with the overwhelming smell of bleach. Again, a perfectly serviceable room is a place to sleep. If you are looking for luxury or amenities, you do not want to stay at a Disney Value Resort. But these are perfectly good rooms. I've slept in them before.
I know that this is the, at least from what I'm aware of, the second redesign of these rooms. So it's not what they look like when these resorts originally opened. But I can't help but compare or think about Art of Animation, how each section, Cars, Lion King, Little Mermaid, each section and each room within it is so perfectly themed. It's not just like in these rooms, the border, that goes across it has baseball bats, this is music, I'm sorry, that has, saxophones or whatever's in there. Because these rooms are generic. And then this room looks exactly like every room in that resort.
Well, you're also talking about a much different price point between All-Star Music and All-Star or Art of Animation. You have 3 categories of rooms at All-Star Music. You have a standard room, a preferred room, which just means it's closer to the main building, and then a family suite, this is where they started doing the family suites that eventually led to the inspiration for Art of Animation. So what you're looking at here at the value resorts, $85 a night in the off season, as opposed to I just went too far. $169 a night peak holiday season. I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way on God's earth these rooms are ever worth $169 a night. Okay, if they're charging you $169, go look at Coronado, see what they're charging. The preferred rooms, a little bit of a premium, $101 a night on the low end versus $184 on the upper end for the holiday season, and the family suites $202 a night versus $375 a night in the peak season. They are a little less expensive than Art of Animation on the family suites, but I'm sorry, never spend $200 a night in an All-Star. Never. I don't care. Don't. Go to Art of Animation. Spend the extra money. Get a better food court. Trust me. You get a much better food court, because that's what we're going to talk about next. This horrendous abomination of a food court that we found at All-Star Music. First of all, for a resort this size, this tiny closet of a food court was unacceptable and crowded. It didn't matter how many people were actually there eating. If you put more than 20 people in this food court where this food's actually being served, you got a crowd.
We talked about this while we were there. It's both All-Star Sports and All-Star Music were the first two that were built. And, of course, their food court is a different design. It's a lot smaller than the more open ones that you see at Pop Century, Movies, and, of course, Art of Animation. So, but we were talking, like, what could they do? I mean, they'd have to shut down the whole thing to redesign it.
Which is exactly what they're doing, because what we're hearing on the boards, we haven't heard official word on this as of the time we're recording this. But what we're hearing is that the food court at All-Star Sports is being closed down for months.
Wow.
And completely renovated. They're going to move some grab-and-go stuff into the arcade, from what we're hearing. And they're going to be running bus service to the other All-Stars.
They'll give you a bowl like in Oliver.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going to be running bus service to the other resorts for your food court. This is at All-Star Sports. Now, we're talking All-Star Music, so... But that's eventually what's coming here. It wasn't just that I found the food to be bad, because it was. I just did not find the food good. When I was making notes about the cast, food court cast is either dour, slow, or rude. Those were your three choices.
I had slow.
Either they looked like they had just come off their meds for depression. It looked like if they went any slower, they'd be going backwards. Or they were just downright rude.
Oh, yeah.
This was not a happy cast. This was not a friendly cast. This was not an engaged cast.
Sorry, I know Corey has a story here.
Well, yeah, this was...
Well, I was just going to throw something out before...
Look ahead.
Yeah, it's just you were talking about the slow cast members. I got a hot dog because there was nothing else on the menu that really appealed to me, so I just got a hot dog. And I was at that station, and there was a woman there. Of course, they had the cooks in the back cooking everything, but this woman was plating it, taking orders, and giving it to you. And I saw my hot dog was cooked, and it sat under a heat lamp. I wasn't going to say anything. It sat under a heat lamp for 10 minutes while she tried to figure out how to fit the fries perfectly from someone else's order into a cellophane container, just getting it just right. And I'm sitting there staring at my hot dog for 10 minutes. So that's the slow cast members you're talking about.
That's why I have to put you through Jersey training. That's when you go, hey, my hot dog is sitting under a heat lamp.
I wanted to see what they would do.
No. Now, Corey's experience, on the other hand, was absolutely jaw-dropping. I'm going to let him tell it.
Yeah, but we didn't eat breakfast here. We just, no need to go to All-Star and eat breakfast. So we came here at lunch. I was a little bit hungry. Had been to 6 different locations before that. Art of Animation, Coronado Springs. Every request that I've asked for, which isn't like extravagant, egg whites instead of, regular egg. I'd like whole wheat bread instead of the bread you're serving it with. Never, ever had an issue. And this is a small food court. There weren't a lot of options. I wasn't going to eat a hot dog. I wasn't doing a hamburger. Well, there was a turkey sandwich. and it was already pre-made. They're all just lined up, waiting for you to pick, for them to serve one to you. And I asked them, I said, "Can I get the turkey sandwich, but on whole wheat bread and no cheese, please?" You would have thought I asked for, "Can I swap the turkey out with dolphin?" or something like that. I said, do you have whole wheat bread? Oh yeah, they point to the little bakery area right next to it where there's whole wheat bread right there. I'm like, okay, all I want is just that whole wheat bread right there and put some turkey in between it. That's it. The lady couldn't answer me, give me a yes or no, so she had to go get somebody else. And this guy's answer, the way to solve this problem, instead of just taking the bread off and putting whole wheat, well, what you can do, you can go to the gift shop. We sell turkey. We sell meat at the gift shop. You see this gelatin turkey? We're showing a picture of it right now. Pre-processed turkey or ham or whatever it is.
They actually had no turkey at the gift shop.
So he suggested that I go buy my own meat at the gift shop, come back, get the bread, and then make my own sandwich. I said, "You're telling me? I'm on a dining plan. You're telling me go to the gift shop and come here and buy bread and make my own sandwich?" They had to go get the chef now. This is the third person that this has gone through while I'm sitting here waiting. And he comes up to me, he goes, "Well, what are you asking for?" "I'm just asking for whole wheat bread instead of the bread you're serving it with. That's it. I don't want cheese.
And no cheese.
I don't want cheese on the sandwich, just whole wheat bread, turkey, that's it." He had to think about it. And he says, "Okay, I can make that for you." This whole process was 10 minutes.
At least.
Yeah.
At least. And I made you go find a manager to complain about that.
It got even more ridiculous. Like, then Corey wanted to get the coleslaw with it, and he asked if it was mayonnaise based or oil based, vinegar based. And the guy looks at it, he's like, "Oh, yeah, it's not mayonnaise." And
it's the chef. This is the chef.
Yeah, this was the chef. And he
okay. Well, we have to throw the word chef around lightly at All Star. Okay,
mayonnaise just started dripping
this was
off of it.
The line cook.
Yeah,
and it was that whole station was messed up because there was a bit of a barrier talking to the lady who was taking the orders. So it got to the point where I had to scream to the guy who was cooking on the grill to let him know what I wanted because she just wasn't getting it. Like, in the whole turmoil of everything, they somehow got the idea that Corey just wanted a piece of fish instead of the turkey sandwich because he couldn't have it. So they were telling me I'd have to wait for it to be made. I'm like, he's not getting it. He wants his sandwich. I want that fish.
It was a cluster.
And I shouldn't even got the fish. It was like probably...
Here's the thing. I'm not allergic to cheese. I'm not allergic to white bread. But my mission on this was to see if I can eat as close to how I eat at home and maintain my health as much as I can while I was doing this.
Irrespective of medical issues, this is the diet you are on right now for a specific purpose. And you're trying to match that. And these requests were not by any, like I said, we're not talking about, as Corey said, replacing tuna with dolphin. We're talking about, can I have that sandwich on whole wheat bread, please? And this required like coordination and an operation name. They had to get the Joint Chiefs of Staff involved. And
if they didn't have whole wheat bread, I would have just said, okay, I just turkey. That's fine. But the fact that I could have grabbed the bread myself and handed it to the lady, I wasn't asking them for something they didn't have. They had it. It was right there.
And
that was
But this was the overall atmosphere at this food court, which is why I said they were either dour, slow, or rude. Not well trained. Certainly, if there was traditions training done with these cast members, it was a very, very, very long time ago, and they all had brain injuries and forgot. Just not at all what I would have expected. I was really surprised at how bad it was. The other thing I was surprised about how bad it was were the murals on the walls.
Can we get a photo of that?
Of these. And again, for those of you watching, you'll see the photos that we're putting up. For those of you listening, disunplugged.com. The videos, the photos, the blogs, everything that we're doing for these, you'll find there. But they have these awful, awful murals. And Who are these people?
What is that? Where's the other leg?
I think the thing is, what are they supposed to be? I have no idea what this is supposed
Well, I want to know. I want to know what happened to her head.
I didn't even notice
Okay.
they're missing other leg.
Well, look at the size of the arms. One arm is 5 foot long. The other one is like little tiny.
And
Is it him or a lady?
I don't know.
well, Shim was hit in the side of the head with a frying pan when Shim's skull was forming. Or
Who's
something.
Cheetah Rivera?
It's Cheetah Rivera here. Yeah,
Gloria
obviously.
Estefan.
It's Kiss of the Spider Woman.
yeah, but still.
Yes, and Gloria Estefan's in the back doing some come hither
Doing
pose.
Pilates or something.
Okay, and I'm sorry, but some of the musical notes on this mural don't exist in reality. They're just someone said, "I know what a music note looks like. I'll paint it."
Draw an eyelash.
What else do we have?
Is this Bon Jovi? Is that?
His
Well-
face is scary.
I don't. Yeah, I
Yeah, it's the tiny mouth with the weird
Planet of
little
the
teeth.
Apes playing the guitar.
Jerry curls.
Oh,
Is he laying down or jumping
or jumping.
He's flying.
It's a man playing
Louis
the
Armstrong apparently,
in a blazer?
famous
in a blazer.
saxophonist. Okay.
and Uggs.
Oh, and there's Patrick Swayze.
Oh, and then I did not know. I did not know that right before he died, Patrick Swayze was in a chorus line.
And he has a prosthetic arm for some reason.
it's a
Dangling.
different color from his skin.
He's got the John McCain arm, the one that doesn't work.
Oh,
Just kind
no.
of dangles there.
Oh, God.
But apparently, so does the other two people dancing with him. So,
And her hip is bruised.
she has this massive bruise on her hip, and then who is that supposed to
In
be?
the blue flowy dress.
It looks like Maureen Stapleton.
I don't know who that is.
I know. I just
This is like the only mural where the artist does not sign it. I'm not signing this.
I mean, these are absolutely awful
Well,
murals.
I didn't realize that Disney solicited high school art programs to come in
really?
for Imagineering.
Yeah, and then
I would never
I'm
make fun
guessing.
of high
I'm
school
guessing one of these is
students like
supposed
that.
to be Harry Belafonte. I have no idea who the other one is, but I love the ruffle
Middle
shirts.
Yeah.
I love the ruffle shirts.
And then there's Kesha. They must have predicted the music industry because this was like 10 years before.
Oh, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
And Don Knotts, Sarah Jessica Parker. and
If
Don
you're listening
Knotts.
to this, you need to go watch the video.
You need to watch. You need to go. Yeah, you need to go see the photos that we're talking about, and you can see Sarah Jessica Parker and Don Knotts performing on the mural. In
I
the
apologize.
All-Star Music
It's
Cafeteria.
Sarah Jessica Parker as Jem.
I apologize to all high school art students. I just had to say that. I'm sure your work is great.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I'm looking at these murals, going, who are these people, and why is this so bad?
Yeah. It's weird.
And what's disturbing about it is that the food court, now the actual area where you get food at the All-Star Music is the size of a closet. The overall size of the eating area is cavernous.
Yeah, it's massive.
It's like
And empty.
and empty. Well, who wants to eat there? But I really was very, very disappointed with overall with the experience at this food court.
I was in shock.
It clearly in need of some management attention here.
Make my own sandwich.
Yeah, make your own. Make your own sandwich. That was their response to his dietary restrictions. What else did we notice? I can't use the words that I put in my notes.
About the food court in general or just everything?
Or just everything at the All-Star Music. I mean,
I will never go back. That's
dramatic.
no, I won't.
look, you know what? The values are great because they really are. Especially if you're talking about most times of the year, you're going to be looking at a price point of about $115 to $135 a night, depending. You can get it cheaper, you can get it more expensive, but generally speaking, that's the range you're going to be in on Disney property with use of the Disney transportation systems. Early entry, your magic mornings, your extra magic hours at night. There's value to it. There's no question. And we'll say things like it's a step up from a Holiday Inn, but there's no Holiday Inn on Disney property. And so, but this is more about your expectations in terms of the rooms. These are bare bones rooms, and that's fine. But the pool's great, nice big pool.
Yeah.
And the theming of the individual buildings is really cool. This is actually the picture that we're showing now is one of the quiet pools.
It's the secondary piano
That's
pool.
the piano pool.
I think the Broadway section buildings are nice too.
Broadway
Yeah, they are.
section buildings are nice.
I think Broadway and country music are my favorite sections.
Yes.
There's a really nice kind of picnic area in the country western section.
Yeah, it
With
is.
big picnic tables. You can like even take your crappy food from the food court and go eat it there.
Well,
Make your own.
theming is really well done. The theming is really well done on these buildings.
The grounds are well kept.
It is. So I don't want to say to people this resort is all crap. It's not. The rooms, like I said, perfectly serviceable. If you're looking for a place to sleep and you're not into like all the extra amenities. Food court wise though, until they fix this food court, I wouldn't stay there because you really don't have a lot of options. I mean, other than literally getting in a car or on a bus and going somewhere else. You don't have a lot of options. That food court is it. And if that's the standard of that food court, I wouldn't stay there for that reason. Now, I previously reviewed music a few years ago and gave it good marks because the room was comfortable. And at that point, we had decent food court food. Again, didn't rise to the level of, oh, my God, this is amazing. It's not Art of Animation's food court, trust me. And it's certainly not the Pepper Market. But this is why I say I would look at Art of Animation because, you're getting about the same size room, same amenities when you're staying in the Little Mermaid wing. Slightly higher price point, not much, slightly higher. But you have that food court. You have that, and that food court's amazing. So if you're going to eat any amount of meals, any decent amount of meals at the resort, at the All-Star Music, this is something you need to think about.
But if you do want to stay at one of the All-Star Movies food court was great.
Was much better. It's a newer food court. It's a newer resort.
Yeah.
Larger food court, more comfortable.
It has that redesign like I was talking about earlier.
We covered that on the last one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And All-Star Movies, if you're going to stay at an All-Star,
Yeah.
my vote is All-Star Movie. If you're going to stay at a value, Art of Animation. Hands down, I see no compelling reason to stay at music.
Can I speak to my personal experience here? This is
No.
Oh, okay. The All-Star resorts, especially sports and music, when I first came as a kid, this is where we always stayed. And as a kid, and we went to the parks every single day. We never had that day where we just sat around the pool. So this resort was perfect for us. We only maybe ever ate breakfast there or got pizza in the room at night. So we didn't have much food court dealings. It was just a place to sleep when you're done at the end of the night, and that was perfect for us. Now going back, looking at it the way I look at it, when I go to a resort, I want a resort that has those really cool places to hang out, that really cool atmosphere. And even though they have this large, over-the-top theming, which is really great, the design is awesome, it's not that cozy atmosphere that I see at some of the moderate and deluxe resorts, or even Art of Animation. That's what I prefer now.
Right.
But as a family with young kids that just go in and out of the parks, and you need a place to stay, it's not as expensive as the other ones. This is perfect, in my opinion.
Also understand that if you are staying at All-Star Music and you have kids, and we've mentioned this on the other shows as well, all of the Disney resorts, the amount of activities they offer for the kids during the day are staggering. You could absolutely spend the day at the pool and your kids would be completely entertained. And all the Disney resorts, we failed to mention this on some of the previous ones, but all the Disney resorts every night do a movie under the stars.
Right.
Where they have this big inflatable movie screen and they play a movie. And it's, changes depending on what's out. But these are obviously Disney films.
And that schedule is usually located like near one of the lifeguard stands.
Or it's also in your when you check in your packet.
Okay.
You'll have what resort activities are going on that week. They'll list out all of the activities happening for the kids at the pool, what the movies are, what time, where, and all of this stuff varies by season, but it's something they do all year round. So, and again, it's also very possible we caught the food court on a bad day.
Yeah.
I don't think so. What I was seeing, I've done this enough that what I was seeing looked systemic. It didn't look like, okay, we were just having a bad day, because it was carrying over to multiple levels at different times during the day. So it looked to me like there's a problem with this food court.
I think it was also training, because every place else, if they didn't have the answer or they didn't know, they went and got someone who did. It's like in sales, they tell you, you just never accept no from somebody who can't tell you yes. You just, keep on going until you get to the person that can give you the right answer. The fact that he told the guy who couldn't really give me the right answer was telling me to go make my own sandwich.
Well, exactly. This is, and it's standard policy at Disney. The minute someone brings up, I need you to do something different with my food, they're supposed to go get the chef. Period. End of sentence. They're not supposed to field that. Because if they misinterpret an ingredient, the chef is supposed to know what's in everything.
Yeah.
If they misinterpret an ingredient, and let's say you have a peanut allergy, let's say you have an allergy to shellfish or something like that, the guy on the front line isn't necessarily going to know what's in what you're eating. The chef is supposed to.
Yeah.
So that's why the minute anything dietary, any change to the food, I need it to be this or that because of my diet, they're supposed to go get a chef. That's not what this guy did. And then you're right, that's a training issue. But I think that All-Star Music will tie with All-Star Sports for most disappointing resort of the of this round of 7 and 7s.
And you know what I mentioned, if you want to stay at an all-star resort, stay at movies. The issue, I'm looking at the current discount that's running. All-Star Movies is not included in that. And Art of Animation, the standard rooms are not included in that discount. So, the two options.
Because this is where people are actually staying because the other ones are problematic. But, but we've seen this before, too, where resorts have challenges like this. And one thing I'll say for Disney is that they're always evaluating, always changing, always trying to fix and make it better. It's never a matter of them not caring or just, look, in any operation, especially an operation that size, things are going to fail. But Disney's very good at identifying them and fixing them, and I hope they get around to that food court soon. I'm glad to hear they're doing something with the food court at All-Star Sports. This absolutely needs to be next because it was a disaster. A disaster for me. And it actually really just kind of affected how I looked at the resort in general. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to upset anybody that's got plans to stay at All-Star Music. You're not walking into a slum.
Right.
Like I said, the rooms were clean, grounds were clean, great theming, lots of activities for the kids. Cast not up to what they should be, and the food court is well below par. That's what you need to go into it knowing. And if those are going to be issues for you, if you don't care about the food court, if you're like Dustin's family was, where maybe you're just going to grab a quick breakfast and the rest of what you're going to eat is going to be out in the parks, then it's not a big deal. But if you're going to be utilizing that food court regularly, it's something you need to know. That in our experience, when we were there, food court well below par. But that is our look at, right? I'm not missing anything, am I?
No.
The arcade's great, right?
Well, okay, I'm glad you brought that up. The arcades at the
All-Stars.
all of the All-Stars are phenomenal.
Yep.
They're phenomenal. They're big. They've got lots of
Games.
a great variety of games.
Mm-hmm. And I think they all have the prize counters as well.
Yes.
Where you can go redeem your tickets and
You
get
can
prizes.
earn You can earn tickets, which are not. They don't actually give you tickets. It gets
It's like electronic card.
It gets put onto your play card. That's what you use to pay for all the games. You charge up a play card with any amount of money from $1 to $25, and you get credits, and those credits are then used to play games. And then certain games will give you points. Those points get added to your play card, and then you can redeem them for prizes.
What prizes do they have?
Well, I mean, it's all like kind of kitschy.
Pencil racers. And
Yeah, well, it starts
bouncing
there,
balls.
but then like they've got
Lava
like
lamps.
lava lamps. and,
It's exactly what you would expect from putt-putt or a skating rink or something
It's
like
cool.
that.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
It's cool and great arcades. Some great arcades in the All-Stars. It's one of the things they definitely do right.
Yeah.
But that will do it for our coverage of the All-Star Music Resort. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with continuing coverage of our 7 resorts and 7 nights. And remember, open your mind, explore the world.